Please rise for invocation by Reverend David Traxler of the First Christian Church of Daytona Beach, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
It has been a tough year, God, and tough decisions have had to be made by this Port Orange City Council. Your wisdom, as decisions have been made, has made the difference. As we meet together again here tonight, help all concerned to carefully consider the relevant information that has been gathered and presented. May those sharing information give us pertinent points so that all may clearly understand. Help us to be innovative as we brainstorm solutions. Help us wisely evaluate our options considering the pros and cons. Most of all, help us all be unified in making the best possible decisions and to effectively carry them out. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilmember Foley.
Here.
Councilmember Tremont.
Here.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Here.
Mayor Burnett.
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for the evening?
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
We have a motion, a proper second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There being none, we have an agenda for the evening is approved, which starts off with item 4, Get Fit winners and overall program statistics. Yeah, I know this guy.
How you guys doing?
Peter.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Peter Ferrer, Deputy Parks and Recreation Director. We have a couple of awards we're going to be giving out. As Mayor said, we're going to start with the Get Fit. We wrapped up the Get Fit with our closing ceremony about 2 weeks ago. As you guys know, it's a 10-week health and fitness challenge sponsored by the City of Port Orange and presented by Port Orange Community Trust. We want to thank them for their annual sponsorship. The program highlights our city parks. Every other week we go to a different park. We have 2 workouts a week, and we also have community partners. And this year's community partners were Workout Anytime, Greater Fitness, Anytime Fitness, the YMCA, and Posi Vibes. So we want to give a huge thank you to those sponsors. They lead the workouts throughout this program for us and wouldn't be possible without them. Our official healthcare partner this year was Florida Healthcare Plans, and our 5K sponsor was the Running Elements. So a big thank you to them as well. This year's numbers, we had 85 participants this year, a little bit down. We did only register 100 compared to our normal 150 because of COVID, so we did limit the field a little bit. We had our final weigh-in numbers. We had an average weight loss of 2.54%, an average weight loss of 5.3 pounds, and a total weight loss of 189.2 pounds across all the contestants, so they did a great job. This was our 7th year, so I have the total numbers for you guys as well. So all 7 years of Get Fit, we had a total participation of 941 people, average weight loss of 9.67 pounds, and a total weight loss of 4,195 pounds for 7 years, so awesome stuff. We have our winner, a couple of our winners here. I'm going to announce all of them. We have 2 present with us. So starting with our 2021 winners on the women's side, first place was Becky Varing with a percent loss of 16.18%.
Wow.
Come on up. Second place, we had Muriel Davidson Bratcher with a percent loss of 6.36%. And thank you both for being here. The rest had some scheduling conflicts, so they couldn't make it, but I will announce them still. Third place, she actually didn't really want me to mention her name, but she had a 6% weight loss. Fourth place was Alex Coons, 5.18%. And on the men's side, first place, Wesley Copeland, 9.84%, and second place, Michael Mann, percent loss of 6.19%. So congratulations to all our winners this year. Thank you all.
What I don't understand is when they gave, I heard the original menu for the banquet was going to be pizza and ice cream.
Switch it up.
You switched it up. That was a good call last second. Are you going to come back next year?
Oh, yeah.
And are you going to make sure I'm in it next year?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to hold me accountable next
We
year?
will.
Because y'all are champions, and I'm counting on you to hold me to it. I will be there with you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Grab a picture.
Yeah.
Just right here.
You can't do anything without a picture.
Hold it up.
There you go. Congratulations. Thank you, guys. Bam, bam.
And as part of the program also, guys, they put together on the dais you'll see in front of you a healthy cookbook. The mayor requested I give one to each one of you, so you may want to ask him about that.
Just saying. Just saying. All right, and I had to come all the way up here so that we could go to item 5, youth leadership recognition.
That is us as well. All right, so the 2020-2021 Port Orange Youth Leadership Program is concluded this month. The 3 program participants are high school juniors and seniors. They began in August by attending Port Orange University to learn about each department's role. Beginning in November, the group began meeting monthly to work on their capstone project, which was to plan and build a community garden. The group met with local master gardeners and toured other local community gardens. They successfully designed the garden to be built behind the old train depot on Herbert Street. They researched funding and set goals for securing sponsorships and grants. They connected with local community groups to assist with the build day and plan the garden policies and procedures. The foundation of the garden project is now there, and the next group will be tasked with securing funding and implementing the opening plan. So here to present with certificates of completion, we have first Shelby Balmer. Please come up. And this is actually Shelby's second year in a row, so we definitely want to thank her for her dedication 2 years in a row. We appreciate that very much. And the next one is Marta Zaruka, and I hope I didn't butcher that name. Come on up. So congratulations to both of you, and thank you very much for participating in the program.
Proud parents taking pictures too, don't we? Thank you both. Well done. Tell you what, in a
Don't
year
go
of
anywhere,
COVID,
Teresa.
in a year of COVID, that's incredible. It really is.
Thank you again, both of you guys, and congratulations to everybody. Before I leave, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Teresa Wiggins. She is our special event manager with the City of Port Orange Parks and Recreation Department. She is the heart and soul of the majority of our special events that you see out in the city parks. So I wanted to make sure I thanked her for her dedication to the city. She does a
You
wonderful
better,
job
she's
for
gonna
us.
have
So
your job one day.
I hope so. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
And item 6, recognition of the 50th anniversary as an ICMA recognized council manager form of government. And we have a, who's this stranger?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Alan Rosen, County Manager, Lake County, Florida. Yeah, I like it.
Where'd you get that coat?
God, I've had this for a while. Actually, guess. I got it actually at the
You should have known if you came.
Well, fine, but I've got a
They're all
50.
gonna laugh, they don't want you anymore.
They give them away in Lake County.
That's all right. I've got a 50-slide presentation. Get you back. So in addition to that, obviously it's really nice to be back here. Once in a while I'll tune into a meeting and reminisce and miss everybody up here, miss everybody back there. That's the only bad thing about being in Lake County is that I don't get to slum it around with everybody here. But as part of also the Florida City County Managers Association, and on behalf of FCCMA, we're privileged to present the City of Port Orange with a certificate celebrating 2021 as your 50th year as Council Manager form of government, as recognized by the International City County Management Association. On behalf of the officers and the Board of Directors and membership of FCCMA, we offer our sincerest congratulations on this milestone achievement. And here with me tonight as well is one of the other board members, Mike Gribos, who's the Assistant City Manager of DeLand. The council manager form of government was created to help separate administration from direct political influence and establish merit-based practices within local government. It is modeled after a corporation's framework, with voters selecting a council who in turn appoint a manager to advise the council and implement its actions through ordinances and policies. In Florida, nearly 70% of all 411 cities, towns, and villages operate under the council manager form of government. And of the 67 counties in the state, all but 2 are professionally managed. Now, one of the professionally managers includes Lake County, if you were wondering. It's a joke. On behalf of FCCMA and all the other council manager communities within the county and the state of Florida, we congratulate the city of Port Orange on this milestone achievement of being a council manager community for 50 years. At this time, I'd like to present the council and the city manager with this important certificate. So if you guys wouldn't mind come down. You want to come up? I don't know how you're going to take a picture. You're supposed to be in it, right? We can go. That's why we have Christian.
All right.
Yeah.
Christine, want me to do it? No. You good?
We'll have a great photo platform here for
Everybody's got their faces.
The next city hall meeting.
Alan, I got an important question for you.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Whose meetings are longer?
Ooh.
Lake County or Port Orange?
I think-
Ours have gotten shorter for some reason lately.
Yeah, I think Lake Counties are longer.
Wonder what the common element is. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike. Come on up to the podium for a second.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before you take off, I just wanted to compliment you and the city of DeLand. My wife and I get a chance, and family get the chance to go over there frequently. And great city. The downtown area is just beautiful. Always from time to time we run into some of the city staff and employees over there, but the business owners and the residents. You guys are doing a heck of a job over there. It's really a beautiful city. So welcome to Port Orange, but congrats on what you guys are doing over there. as
Much
well.
appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Thank you.
Good to see you. Brings us to item 7, update from the YMCA. Here's Chris.
Hey.
Good evening. Chris Silcop, CEO for the Blue Shirt Fighter YMCA. Good to see you. City Manager, hadn't had a chance to meet you yet, so good to meet you. Maybe we'll get a meeting sometime, introduce ourselves. So I want to thank the commission and the city for your support during the pandemic. I am proud to say that we have paid the city back 100%. That would be $94,664.25 for all the deferment. And I must say it's the years ahead of schedule. In fact, we didn't even need all the deferments.
Great job.
So I want to thank you very much for those of you who supported the Y and saw us through the difficult time. I can tell you a little few stats. Our membership revenue is up 12% since January. Actually, it's 12.8. The problem is I only have about 28% to go to get back to where we were, because we dropped about 40%. So a little bit of a climb. Program revenue is running at budget in Port Orange. For the association, we're ahead of budget, but for Port Orange, membership is up, beating budget by about $20,000 for the year. For the association, we've had 3,411 new units since January. Net gain is 1,730 new units. So we're seeing a definite upward trend. May actually is stronger than April. April is stronger than March. March is better than February. And then January was pretty strong also. So there's definitely an upward trend in it. Programming, I'll give you a little rundown of that one. Swim lessons, we are on a waiting list. So what happened last year was no one got certified to be a swim instructor. No one took swim lessons. So now we have half as many staff and twice as many kids who need swim lessons.
Oh, wow.
And this is a problem at all of our branches. And then also staffing. We are summer camp, we have unfortunately a waiting list. Our summer camp numbers have swelled to pre-COVID numbers, yet trying to find staff is very difficult. Counselors, front desk, lifeguards, swim instructors. Down the line, we have applications on Indeed for probably 20 different positions around the associations. Not Camp Winona just is not involved with you guys, but Camp Winona has the best registration in probably 20 years. We've already closed out 4 weeks. We're 4 times what we were pre-COVID, and we can't find any staff. So unfortunately, we're in a situation where we want to serve, we have the demand, but we just can't find the vehicle to get it done with because we just can't find the staff. But everything's moving well in the right direction. The changes I made, updated the council about some membership changes are working. So it's increasing revenue for Ormond Beach per membership unit. I'm sorry, Port Orange per membership unit. Some of the changes we made to third party is working. Some of the changes we made on our membership structure is working also. So it's looking better. Again, we're not back to where we were. We're still got about probably 28-30% to go, but at least it's moving in the right direction. At least we can pay our bill and our lease payments to the city in full every month. So.
Positive trend.
So again, I just want to thank you, thank the council for your support. Thank you for being good landlords and working with us until we could get out of the bind.
Chris, appreciate it. Just off the cuff, how long has Camp Winona been operating?
Camp Winona is actually one of the oldest camps in the U.S. It's been camping for over 100 years. I think it's actually the 3rd oldest operating camp in the U.S. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
The land was donated to the Y out of a lumber company out of New Smyrna Beach. So and the other thing is you need to know is that a number of residence camps have gone under this year. So when I first started in the Y 20 years ago, there were 5 YMCA camps in Florida. Now there's only 2. Camp Weewall of Orlando just sold to the city of Apopka for a little over $5 million, $6 million. So we're getting a lot of the overflow from those kids over to our camp. Now across the U.S., a number of residence camps have closed. So Camp Winona is definitely a treasure that we want to keep. And there's been a lot of development around there. Fortunately, Jake DeGrom bought a lot of the land, and I know Jake, and he doesn't plan to develop it. He wants to keep it for hunting for himself. So but it's starting to creep into that area of Leon Springs, unfortunately.
Doesn't hurt to have a major league pitcher that
No.
pitched locally that likes that area, that's for sure.
Yeah. Actually, as habit would be, I played ball with his dad. Me and him played in 3-and-3 hoop it up. So I remember Jake when he was about 10 years old running around the gym and stuff. But he's a good neighbor, and he doesn't plan to develop. But anyways, yeah, Winona, it's counselors, it's staff all over. We haven't seen probably anyone else trying to find enough staff to fill our positions. And unfortunately, demand is increasing. Youth sports are running well. Everything program-wise is going well. So we're moving in the right direction, fortunately.
And I know that's not just a YMCA problem, but that is a service industry problem with staffing right now. So.
Yeah. The ACA, the American Camping Association, says like 97% of all camps are in the same position we're in, giving signing bonuses, just giving, doing whatever they can, because none of the colleges had job fairs. So you don't have the opportunity to go to a college campus and recruit kids anymore to be counselors because they didn't have them.
That's creative, huh?
Yeah. And so, but again, I want to thank the city for working with us, and I really appreciate it, and the residents of Port Orange and all the kids in swim lessons and all the seniors in water aerobics and rehab. Thank you also.
Appreciate the good news. Council, got any questions? Chase, did you have anything?
Real quick, congratulations on the great success, and you always bring the bacon with the nice suits, man. Well done.
I knew that was coming.
Looking sharp.
This is my UCF special, is what I call it.
Nice.
My black and gold.
That's right.
Now,
Go Knights.
just on a personal note to recognize, you were recently recognized for quite an honor.
Yeah.
Tell us what that was.
Oh, jeez. I was recognized as one of the best middle blockers in the world for volleyball for my career. So I was recognized by the World Organization of Volleyball. So.
Well done. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
So if you don't have time to teach kids how to swim, you can teach them how to block, right?
Actually, we're
They
so
got to be
thin.
told, though. They got to be told.
Well, yeah, you have to be told to be able to block or jump well. But we're so thin that actually I'm the exec in Ormond, I'm the CEO, and I run the volleyball league in DeLand.
Wow.
So that's just to tell you how thin the Y is right now. So we went from 412 employees to 294 employees.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Congratulations, Chris.
All right.
Anybody else? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Chris.
it.
Good to see
Thanks
you.
for the good news.
All right, thank you.
That brings us to the consent agenda. Public comments on consent agenda items only. If anybody would like to comment on items 10 through 16, now is your chance. Any public comments? There being none, back to us. May I have a motion for agenda approval?
So moved?
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Nobody want to pull 13, huh? Okay. In that case, call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Spillier.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bashir.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0.
Would it have mattered?
No, really.
Yeah.
We've been there, right?
Yep.
Citizen participation, non-agenda. Robin, do we have any? Okay. Council comments, item 17. Jonathan, why don't we start with you?
My only comment I'm going to say is that Wayne's been with us now for about a month, give or take. And see you later, Alan. Over the last few weeks, as I've been getting settled into my seat, everyone's realizing what my phone number is for the city and the email. And I've received more than a handful of different concerns. And as I've brought each one of those to the city manager's office, either himself or Cindy or staff has done an excellent job of getting rapid responses out to those citizens and making me look a little better. So I just want to say that I think that he's off to a really good start, and I appreciate what he's been doing, and that I'm looking forward to just continuing to work going forward. But I just wanted to acknowledge that because I know, Mayor, you've seen a few of them because you've been CC'd along with me on the residents coming in, and just I think you've been doing a really good job there, Wayne. So just want to give you guys a shout out.
Appreciate you taking care of our residents like that.
That's what I'm here for.
Chase, what you got this week?
I didn't have anything at first, and I'm sure we'll be speaking of this, later on. Someone may bring it up that at some point we'll recognize our police chief, but I just want to congratulate him on his well-deserved retirement. I've been extremely proud to have Chief Grimaldi as our police chief here in Port Orange.
I'm going to tell you what, I was going to bring him up, but since you brought it up, why don't we just go ahead and do that so we're not doing it twice, Chief?
Yeah, and the chief and I spoke yesterday, and I just wanted to echo those comments from the public dais and have it for the record that I was extremely proud of the job that you've done, and any resident I ever spoke to had interaction with you appreciated your compassionate nature, your approachability, your leadership style, and I'm, on behalf of a resident and a father of 4 children here, I appreciate the job that you've done, and I wish you a very heartfelt congratulations.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Appreciate that.
Chief, I want to add to that, of course, when you took over the department, it was at a time when the entire command staff was moving on from drops. So basically, you're starting from scratch.
Yes.
And the job you've done to move us forward, couldn't be more grateful because it was not a small one.
Thank you.
And I know the work never ends, but for you it will in 4 weeks, and I want to thank you. And I was going to call you up anyway because we had talked offline a little bit about the new tethering ordinance.
Yes.
And what I wanted to do was, if somebody sees an animal in distress because of tethering, what should they do and how should they reach out to us? And what do we do when that happens?
So, excuse me. So we do have a relatively new tethering ordinance that was put into place a couple months back, if my memory serves correct. If a resident sees something like that, an animal, typically we're talking about dogs, but it could be any animal, but the dog's tethered to a stake in the ground and not tethered properly, and they are concerned about the welfare of the animal, please call. You can call the police department through the non-emergency dispatch line. Dispatch will send our animal control officers out to investigate and look into that. So we do have that ordinance. We're looking at the ordinance a little bit closer now. There's probably some clarity that we want to clean up in there. We want to clean it up a little bit. It's maybe not as clear as we want it to be. So we're going to work on doing that. But as far as reporting it,
report to the non-emergency dispatch number, and dispatch will send either an officer or the animal control officer out. to
That's
scene.
the 248-1777 number,
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. And really, if you see an animal in distress, it doesn't have to be tethering.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right?
Absolutely. I was watching the news the other day, and I forgot where it was, but a dog was left in the car, and I forget where it was, but the police department had to come, and they actually had to break the window. They couldn't find the owner, break the window to get the dog out, and the temperature, and the door was open for quite some time when they put the meter in there to take the temperature, and it was at 112, and that was after the door was open for some time, so a lot of hot air had already escaped.
Yeah.
The dog was inside in distress, so that police department took immediate action, and broke the window to get the dog out. And so, again, thankfully, a person walking by the car, a citizen, a good citizen, recognized that and called the police. So those things happen. It doesn't have to just be tethering. Anytime an animal's in distress, yeah, we want to know about it and take care of it.
Chief, appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your leadership.
Thank you.
Council, you want to heap on while you're at it? Scott, why don't you go ahead?
Buy a boat.
Yeah, I guess that'll keep my time busy, huh?
Yeah.
Enjoy
Uh,
retirement by a boat. That's awesome.
33 years goes by pretty quick, doesn't it?
It really does. I was saying to somebody this morning that I remember July 1st, 1988, getting sworn in. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I truly, truly do. I looked a lot younger. I was a lot younger. But yeah, it goes by quick. It's amazing. I never, ever thought I would get to 33 years. I remember being a rookie patrol officer and looking at senior veteran officers and looking at them and saying, wow, they have 27 years on, or I have 32 years on. I'm never going to make that. And here I'm at 33. So it goes by. It's been a good ride. I have no complaints. It was truly an honor to serve two great cities. And I'm all about still pushing the police department forward, pushing the city forward. It's who I am. So
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And being able to serve through 4 decades is not trying to make you feel old, but that's quite an accomplishment.
He started when he was 12.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I hope that you never have ever a doubt in your mind as to the value of the service that you've provided in the two cities, and it's a profession that many times doesn't get all of the appreciation it deserves, and a lot of things happen in the middle of the night that nobody ever knows about, and the phone calls and the instantaneous stress and those types of things. So much appreciated and much respect for you, but also for Holly. Those are the people, in my opinion, I typically look to thank more and share my appreciation, is because I know that it's not just about us, and there's a family there somewhere, and that they have paid a huge sacrifice and endured a lot for you to get to today. So much to them as well.
Appreciate that
Much
very much,
appreciated.
and without a doubt, I wouldn't be standing where I am today and made it to where I am in my career without my wife. So she's been behind me the entire ride.
Yeah, and congrats on the anniversary.
Thank you.
Drew?
Chief, thank you. You can't put into words, but thank you for your service to Bristol and to us. 33 years. I'm guessing they hired you about 12. You lied on your application, got hired when you were like 12,
Yeah,
13
yeah,
years
that's it.
old,
Yep.
and so you're leaving young. So, congrats to you. You've earned it. Enjoy it. I agree. Buy the boat. Get the boat out
the
there
boat,
and,
man.
and
You
do
know
that
if
thing.
somebody's
So,
selling one.
so you got about 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks left. So you still
4
got some
weeks.
time to accomplish a goal that you and I talked about jokingly a long time ago. Do you remember what that was?
I barely remembered.
Involving
this morning.
ESPN.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you got about a month left. You got to convince them to move their headquarters to Port Orange.
It's going to be a tough lift, but we'll work on it.
All right.
I'll put that on the top of my list.
There you go.
Thank you.
Jonathan?
Yes, thank you, since I didn't get a bite of the apple the first time around. I'll take just a quick second to tell my favorite story with you, actually. I'd gone to a chamber event, and this is the first time that I ran for office. This is back in 2019. And I probably was not the best use of your time at that moment. But nevertheless, You stood in that parking lot and we talked about aggressive panhandling in the city of Port Orange and how it properly was handled in some areas and improperly handled in others. And you gave me an education that was so worthwhile on that subject. And I remember standing there. It was in front of Monterey Grill. It was right there on Dunlawton. I remember that conversation to this day, and it wasn't so much what I learned in that conversation, although that was very important 2 years later. What I remember was the character and the kindness of a gentleman who was so important to our city and was taking 10, 15, 20 minutes out of his day to explain something to me, was just another concerned resident. And I love telling that story because I think it says a lot about your character. And even though I've only been serving now for a few months, I've seen that in multiple facets. And I just want to say thank you for your service to our city.
Thank you. I appreciate those words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it, my
Chief.
friend. Chase, you got anything else for us? I'll stop on that. There you go. Drew?
Really, it's hard to add anything to that. About the only thing I'm going to add tonight. I heard recently a former division chief in the fire department passed away, George Meister. I don't have specifics and everything. I know George loved to travel, and he did a lot of traveling and RVing and everything, and I don't have an obituary to read in. I'm going to try to get one, maybe read it into the next meeting, but our thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a difficult time, but you know, he still has family local here, and you know, he's served the department well for another 2, 3 decades, and retired a division chief. So you know, our thoughts and prayers to the Meister family on his passing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Scott?
Just a quick comment of thanks. I wanted to bring up, I see Peter's here tonight, and I'm sure Susan's listening, Wayne, for your benefit as well. Oh, Susan's over there. We got to do something about that seat. You know, you've been here long enough, you can get a better seat. But yeah, I frequently have an opportunity to go down to the boat ramp facility, as many as you guys know, avid boater. And a lot of times on early Saturday and Sunday mornings, I have casual encounters with some of the Parks and Rec folks that are down there that are taking care of the facility. And it's okay, because they have no clue who I am, and that's fine. I'd prefer it that way. And honestly, it's I'm a little embarrassed because I don't know their names, but I just want to tell you guys that they represent the city extremely well. They never hesitate to say good morning to people. I see them interacting with people casually down there. They do a good job. They represent the city. It is a place in our city that very quickly can turn into something that we wouldn't be that proud of, and be a mess and dirty and all that stuff. And I know it's their job, but they do it really well, and we should be proud of them. And but anyway, whoever those folks are that are down there on the weekends and doing that on Saturday and Sunday mornings when everybody else is out enjoying their time, please pass along our thanks to them and let them know they're doing a great job down there. We appreciate it very much. And also just wanted to mention for Lynn and Wayne's benefit as well, because I know that I'm not hesitant to say when our medians and stuff aren't looking good, right? So, but they look good. And I've definitely noticed that there's been some more attention to detail in the last couple of weeks, and trash is being picked up out there, and they're looking at that kind of stuff. And it gets mentioned to me all the time by residents. So it's not just me, but I just wanted to pass along that things look pretty good out there. So we appreciate that, and thank you guys for staying on top of that. That's all I got.
Thank you.
All good stuff tonight, Mayor.
Absolutely. Council, I wanted to bring you up to date on a couple things I've been working on with the city manager. The city manager, Wayne, is going to be doing a coffee with the manager, something Jake did when he started as an outreach to the city manager. I will be participating in that. Also, anything that we can do to increase our public outreach so that they can reach us and talk to us about what's on their minds and what's going on in Port Orange. We want to be accessible, so there'll be Christine will be announcing those dates soon, but I wanted to let you know that that is going on. And the other thing that I'm working on is staff is working on a town hall. And years ago, we used to do these things in segments of district meetings and the like in off election years. And I don't really feel like we need to do district meetings because the reason why we stopped is because they became too small. And you'd have 3 people in a room. So I'd like to do a town hall as a city. with all 5 of us. The idea is that we'll do it in one evening, and there'll be a half hour beforehand where we can interact with people as well as afterwards. But each of us will be in corners of the room for a district. Maybe have some staff will have something prepared about the things that are going on in each of the districts that you all can talk about individually. I will be there. I'll do a short presentation of what's going on in the city with projects and what's going on with the rec and just about anything that we can do. But after that, I want to open it up, and then just anybody can talk about anything. One thing that I don't want to be accused of is not being accessible. I think all of us have cell phones that when people call us, they reach us because those numbers are on the website, and they call us directly. They don't talk to assistants. They don't go through a staff. We are accessible. But I want to take that to the next level. I want to make us more accessible, just not by email, not just by text, not just by telephone. We're coming out of COVID in an era in the last year and a half where a lot of us have kind of pulled back and have done less contacts, myself included. Whether it because the Chamber of Commerce is not doing the things, whether it's just because whatever it is, we've all been concentrating on keeping everybody safe and healthy. I feel that now is the time as people have gotten vaccinated and we're moving forward, cases are down. So what we're talking about is probably sometime in August, so there's plenty of time. But if you have suggestions and the like, talk to Wayne about how to execute this. I think that this is a tremendous opportunity, and I'd like to do this as a regular thing moving forward. Election years are difficult, but even if we do it earlier in the year before we get into election season, or maybe because we have elections in August, maybe we do it in September. But I'd like to make it a regular thing so that every year that people can come talk to us in a group setting and see what's going on, and more than just a state of the city. This is us being accessible and open, and now I'm just rambling, but I'm sorry, that's because I'm kind of excited about it, but I did want to let you all know that that's something that we've been talking about and what's going on. With that, Board appointments, interviews, and reports is in the advisory board for the committee for the TPO. Bobby Ball notified us that he won't be here this evening, so that brings us to the regular agenda portion of the meeting. Regular agenda, item 19 is first reading of ordinance number 2021-10, the Fire and Rescue Pension Fund, section 54-77 and 54-104. Ordinance 2021-10 is an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, amending Chapter 54, Article 4, Fire and Rescue Pension Fund by amending Section 54-77, definitions, amending Section 54-104, benefits and contribution for members hired on or after December 4th, 2012, providing for repeal of conflicting resolutions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2021-10.
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second. The item is open on the floor for discussion. Wayne, who's presenting?
Jamie Miller, Interim Deputy City Manager. I'm here before you tonight. I don't have any fancy presentations because this is an item I believe we have discussed in the past. Through recent collective bargaining agreements, we've agreed to make fundamentally 2 different changes to our fire pension plan. One is to change our benefit structure from a 2.5% to a 3% multiplier for our employees hired in after December 2012, including the maximum they can achieve. That's intended to align with the employees hired before then, so we're eliminating that portion of the bifurcation of the calculation. The second thing is specialty pay being included in the definition of salary. So this came before you as an approval through the collective bargaining agreement, so now you're seeing the implementation of this through our ordinance revision.
So this will put us in compliance with what we negotiated in Article 22 then?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Council, questions or concerns?
None.
There being none, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, back to us. Comments or questions, council?
I think this is.
There being none, call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont,
Yes.
Councilmember Silver,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowden,
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. That brings us to item 20. Item 20A is resolution number 21-22, Parks and Recreation, additional funding for contract for rec renovations and expansion.
Move to approve resolution
Well,
number.
let me get to it so I can
Oh,
read it.
I gotcha.
And it's a doozy too, so here we
Okay.
go. Resolution number 21-22 is a resolution of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, appropriating capital funds for the fiscal year 2021 budget to designate fund balances from the Rec Impact Fee Fund 611 in the amount of $1,240,000 and appropriate to capital outlay. To designate fund balance from the general fund in the amount of $1,400,000 and transfer to the capital replacement fund 317 and appropriate to capital outlay for the recreational, educational, cultural center remodel and expansion project, and setting forth revenues and expenditures, providing for an effective date.
Move to approve resolution number 21-22.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second. The item's open on the floor for discussion. Who do we have presenting? The person
Weird,
hiding in the
right?
corner.
Mayor, if it so pleases the council, could you also open the next item as these kind of go together hand in hand, and then we can kind of discuss it, if that's okay?
I had a feeling that you were going to do that. Item 21B is a recommended motion to approve the contract award to Sabingi Construction for $3,963,000 and $3,963,162. Authorize an allowance for unforeseen conditions in the contingency in amount not to exceed $317,052, subject to Resolution 21-22 passing, and authorize the mayor and the city clerk to execute associated documents. That is the recommended motion. May I have such motion?
So moved.
Second.
You weren't going to repeat that, were you?
No.
The motion is open and on the floor concurrently. Item 21-22, resolution, and the award of ITB number 21-13.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council. Susan LaValle, Parks and Recreation Director. So what you have before is basically on April 19th, we had received 5 submittals for the renovation and expansion of the rec. Sabungi Construction submitted a final and best bid under our local preference rules for $3,963,162. This includes all the 5 alternates and the base bid. Staff is also asking for an 8% unforeseen condition allowance. Since this is a remodel and new construction, we generally ask around 10%. We're asking for 8% on this project for a total project cost of $340,215. They expect the project to last 305 days. The project is over budget by $1.4 million, and staff has identified additional funding in the unrestricted fund balance. Under the resolution 21-22, you can see the 2 accounts that the funding is coming from. To kind of give you a background, and I'll do my best, and if I struggle, I'll ask Dr. Niels to come up here and bail me out. But so the current available fund balance general fund is $17,449,806, which exceeds our 30% target by $5,751,497. The remaining fund balance after the request of, if approved tonight, will still have appropriation of $16,049,806, which is $4,351,497 over the required budget. So our fund balance would still be in pretty good shape and above what our policies state. Therefore, we are requesting that we do move forward with the expansion and renovation of the rec, with that additional $1.4 million being approved to be set forth to this project. And Dana Smith, our architect, is here. If you have any specific questions to why did it come in higher than we anticipated, I will tell you we've beat our head against the wall a lot on this. The estimate before we went out to bid was over a year ago. I think everybody up here is very aware what has happened in this area in the last year, how construction prices have gone up exponentially, and we believe that is why these bids came in that high. So, but he can answer any specific if you wish to want some elaboration on that.
I admit I got a little sticker shock, but even the sticker shock was not followed with any surprise at all. I think right now the average house 18 months ago cost $40,000 less to build than it does today, same house.
Yeah.
That's just a house. Council questions?
When did that bid go out again?
The bid was released, I believe, March 1st, and it opened on April 19th.
Of this year?
Yes. But when we go for a budget and we set our budgets, it's almost a year in advance when we put together our capital budget. So there is a lag in that cost estimate.
And are we gonna be depleting our recreation impact fees fund with this?
I don't have those numbers in front of me. I don't know if the finance team back there does, but
And I'd be curious how long it would take for impact fees to reach the 1.4 million. Because here's my issue right now. Is the carrot that got me to bite on this was the fact that it wasn't going to cost any dollars out of general fund or reserves, and that's what that was the light bulb for me at that workshop when we said we got the money. The rec impact fees, all right, let's do it. Had it not, I don't know that I might have, but I don't know that I would have supported it. So that's my holdup right now.
okay.
But at the same time, I don't want to cut my nose off despite my face, if that's the proper phrase to use. But I don't like being in this position. I don't want my hand to be forced.
I don't think anybody building anything right now wants to be in this situation, but here we are.
Then is now the time to build it.
Well, it's only going to get.
Materials are at an all-time high.
Yeah,
To
they're
build
not.
anything, I don't care if you want to build a playground set in your backyard. It's an all-time high. That's just a fact. But are we going to continue to see that trend, or over the next 12 months, are we going to see a correction and be able to get closer to the original?
No.
I will also mention that we do have some grant stipulations for building timeline. Also, we have already asked for an extension for the first phase. So we would have to go back to Volusia County and ask for another extension if you decide to delay the project. It is something we could look at. You know, they have a new board. I'm not sure where they'll be on it, but we would have to do that.
So we have an extension on the grants right now.
We have an extension on the phase. So the building was, we applied in 2 phases for the building. We're going to build it in 1. The first phase, we've already asked for an extension.
Okay.
It's because
I
we're
think
waiting to
everybody
get the second
expected that with
phase.
COVID.
Right.
Right.
So right now we're on track for the second phase is on time. The first phase is behind, and we've received that.
Are you
that
saying that
extension.
if we were to delay, we may lose the grants?
We
Is that-
could.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand that.
Yeah.
And we're granting, was it 9 or, well, 1.1 million? What do we have here in total
So
grants?
in Echo, we have $800,000, and we have $225,000 from the Racing
So
and
a
Rec.
little over $1 million in grants that we could
Mhm.
possibly risk losing by saying we want to wait.
Well, that 800,000 from Volusia Echo for sure.
Okay.
The Racing and Rec District is for the playground portion of the project, so that those funds can only be used towards that portion of the project. Can't be used for the regular construction.
Okay. Because that matters.
Absolutely.
Because then what becomes a 4.3 million project, right now it's 3.5 without that 800,000 for us. If you
Mhm.
have that included in there, that changes the math a lot.
Mhm.
So it's good to know. That's information I didn't have.
And you know, just to also, there's always more to the story here, and that's revenue. This building will generate revenue. We're probably going to have some type of lease agreement with Art House. We're probably going to have some type of lease agreement possibly with PAL. And then the amount of revenue that the building will generate, we're working on this
Programs.
projection now for the additional programs for the additional space. So there will be some money coming back to help offset some costs, but that we're working on now to be able to provide you to during the budget cycles.
Would some of that revenue go to pay back the reserve fund?
It's not anticipated to right now, but that's the pleasure of you all if you decide you want some of that to go back towards it. You know,
I'm
what the,
not
what
suggesting
the
that we
policy
would. I
is.
just
it's-
wanna
yeah, it's
cover everything.
and what the policies you all set as far as what you want as your unrestricted fund balance and where you want that to be percentage-wise.
Let me get through. Jonathan, did you have anything else?
A real simple question I'd like to ask that I think residents would like to know, because we're looking at a $4.4 million, $4.34 million project. And you being the parks director, if I gave you a check for this amount of money, is this what you would spend that money on, guaranteed, of all the parks we have in our city and all the programs and everything? You know, you are far more qualified to make that decision than I. Is this where you would spend that money if I gave you a $4.3 million check? Would you do this project above all others?
I would say yes, just for the sheer fact that a community our size, we don't really have a true community center. We don't have a place where multi-generations can come and recreate together. We get a lot of asks for this from the community on a regular basis. I believe it's been the vision of the Parks and Rec Advisory Board as well as the council to have
almost a
2
decade.
community centers by 2025. This would be the first one. We believe that this will provide a space for all of our residents to recreate, especially our youth. Right now, if you don't play basketball in the afternoon, you pretty much don't have anywhere to go after school in this area. And I think we're starting to see the effects of that, right? We're seeing more vandalism in our parks and areas around the school when school lets out. We have to start engaging that age group into this facility. And they don't all play basketball, right? This can provide space for homework, after school, gaming, cultural classes, education type stuff. It will provide space during the day for our mommy and me type things and people with small children. We get a lot of complaints during the summer about it being too hot out on the playgrounds. This is going to provide space for that. I do believe this is a good use of the money for the residents and what this community will grow to become as we start to build out.
And just for the record, Art House will be moving into this building, so we will receive that property that's currently being used by them. That'll come back to us for different options if we so choose to use it.
That is my understanding, and you know, we don't have a signed agreement with Art House yet, but it is the intention to try and work through that to be able to move them into this facility.
Okay.
And I agree with your, I agree with the need, you know, and it's a desire of the community. It's, the project isn't the problem for me, right? What I'm struggling with is the process right now. You know, I don't, you know, if I end up approving this, you know, how else do I send a message to staff that says, I don't want to be in this spot again? Yeah, because to me it feels like a massive bait and switch. And you're asking
Chase,
also
I hope you're
for-
not blaming staff for the increase in
No,
construction
no, no,
prices.
no, I'm
The
not.
massive construction price increase.
Excuse me, I'm not blaming staff.
No, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because I didn't want you to come across at that, if that's not what you
No,
intended.
no, and I think staff knows me well enough to not ever throw them under the bus. But the fact of the matter is, that's where we're at. And that's what I don't wanna, be in that spot again. And we're also asking for additional percentage break to where it could be more than 1.4 million, correct?
Yep,
As
anytime.
to how much, what would be the max that we would
So-
possibly need out of here? And I understand the money is there, so.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've done enough projects to know that sometimes when we get into it, we find things that we didn't know were there. This building was built in the 80s. Don't know what we'll run into. We might not run into anything. But the chances are we are going to run into some things. We're going to run into some changes in the plans that have to occur, which could increase prices, just like sometimes we get a decrease in our costs if something doesn't need to get done because we anticipated something else. So that's the way a project runs. It ebbs and flows based on what we discover. You know, I will say when we put together these cost estimates, they are a year in advance. It's a guess. We used to add more in, a little buffer in to keep us out of this situation. But then they were coming in and we were overtaxing to have extra money to build projects that we maybe didn't need. So I think we can do it depending on philosophy. You can do it both ways, but I think, you know, it's something that just we
There's
have
some things
to
you can't
decide.
anticipate,
Yeah,
like a
there's some things you
325%
can't.
increase in construction materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, the final comment I'll make is I'll likely support it. 'Cause I do believe the community wants it, and I know our funds are there, and that we've been good stewards of the dollars to have this in there. But it's my job to put you through the ringer and
Yes,
ask
sir.
these questions, because I'm expected to ask those.
Drew?
Now, this project, I know how much has gone into it from you and staff, and the bid process, the whole thing has been, it's a much needed project. It's wanted. It's costing us more, and I believe if we wait, it's gonna cost us even more. So it's desperately needed, and in my opinion, can't get finished soon enough, but I know there's a process to do it, so I appreciate everything that's gone into this.
Sure.
Scott?
This is a project that's going on for almost on a facility that's almost 4 decades old, and a project and vision in the making that's at least 10 years old. And I look at projects like this. This is who we are as a city. These are the kind of facilities and assets that people who live in Port Orange have an expectation for us to have. Facilities exactly like this. We can certainly be a stripped down city and not offer services and assets and facilities and parks, but there is no way that that's what the residents of Port Orange by and large are looking for. You know, the cost increase, quite frankly, it is what it is, because this is a national thing. This may be a global thing. This is not a Port Orange thing. But that doesn't mean we stop investing in our community by any stretch of the imagination. The 8%, by the way, comes out to $344,000 for rough numbers on that. I agree that I think that there may be some things in a 4-decade-old facility that may be a little bit unexpected. So I don't think that should create any alarm, but we should definitely hope for the best. But I think this is absolutely the right time. This is a great value for this money. It's more than we want to pay. But when we know who's going to benefit from this for another 4 decades plus maybe to come, it's a price worth paying for sure. So it's got my support. And my only thing would be, and we say this a lot, is we're going to enter into this agreement and this contract with Sabungi. We got to hold their feet to the fire, right? We want to make them perform. Make sure all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, make sure every dollar of the taxpayer money, that they're getting exactly what we're paying for. And that's the only thing I'm asking for staff. I think the design is great. I would be remiss not to give a special shout out to the advisory boards and the citizens that have also put time and effort into this and this vision. And I mean, there's been a lot of work, staff and everybody. And it's time to get this project off the ground. I'm looking forward to seeing it come out of the ground and get it wrapped up and giving it back over to the residents in the community. The one thing that we don't always talk about is that a lot of times people see facilities and things like this, they just think of the youth, and that's just not the case in your facility. In fact, I hear from a lot of our residents, our senior residents, who like the things that are offered over there, quite honestly, and I look forward to as much of that as well. It's truly a 7-day-a-week facility that provides an incredible amount of services, and if you don't know what they provide, and what you got to do is walk through that front door and look on those boards where it's all posted. And every time I'm over there and I look at the boards, I'm like, we do this, we do that. It's crazy. I'm not showing up for some of the dancing lessons, I'll just tell you right now.
No
But
Zumba,
it's cool
huh?
that you, yeah, no Zumba. I got it. But I get that there's people that's their thing. You know, the wood carving stuff would be a little bit more my speed. But it's amazing to see what all does occur over there. And as a community that's grown and has high expectations for quality programs and facilities, this is a good one. This is a real good project to get off the ground. So I'm looking forward to seeing it happen.
Good, thank you.
I think the sticker shock aspect of it is what got me.
Sure.
But in perspective, it's not anything that nobody else is going through. The other part of that is I know that the price of things are not going to come down anytime soon with construction demand being sustained the way it is. So I think it is unfortunate. I think it would cost us a whole lot more if we waited. So this is a difficult decision, but I think it's one that kind of makes itself in the long run if you take the long run with it. But all the same, I appreciate your hard work on that. With that, let's hear from the public. Anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, back to us.
Just real quick, I'd like to put on the record, I fully support the project. I think it's an awesome project. I want to see that for our city. It's not that I have any qualms with the project. It is the price tag and the discrepancy in the original price tag and the price tag we have now. With that being said, the mayor is making a very fair point that construction costs, while I believe will correct at some point, what I think has to be weighed into that now is the deadline for the grants that we could possibly lose forever. And that changes it. Yes, okay, our construction costs going to come down? I believe they will. I believe in the next 12 months we'll see a correction. Is it going to be an $800,000 correction? I don't see that. And that is why, that is my thought process going into this vote. And I just want to make sure that's on the record. I fully support the project. So, but that's the only thing I wanted to make sure I put out there.
Chase, anything to add?
Well, I guess I can piggyback. I'll just, my compliments to the council, all down, and the staff. I mean, that's why we talk about these issues. That's why we bring these questions out. That's why we listen to everyone's point of view, and that's why we get to the bottom. And that's, you know, I'd say that's a testament to leadership all across the board, because, you know, the right move is to move forward with it. But how we get there is important.
Indeed. Drew, final comments?
Good to go.
Scott, anything else?
Not for me.
With that, call the roll on resolution 21-22. I'm sorry.
Just one couple quick comments on it. One to Councilman Stiltner's comments on the as we go forward. I think the reason we put the inspection services in there was specifically for that purpose, to minimize change orders. And while we can't guarantee there won't be any surprises, that's in there intentionally to make sure that we minimize the surprises. It should pay off as we go forward. The other thing to Councilman Tremont's comments on the general fund balance, I just wanted to remind you, next week we have a workshop on the budget, on the general fund, and one of the components of that workshop will be talking about fund balance, how much it is, what's left after this expenditure, and what we might do with it going forward.
We're going to have some serious Sunday night reading, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Wayne?
No, sir.
On resolution 21-22, call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont,
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Basham.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. On the award of ITB number 21-13, call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont,
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Basham.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Additional items, city attorney,
Nothing tonight.
city manager,
Nothing else.
city council committee reports, Art House.
Don't have anything, or the first step at this time.
Okay. Port Orange, South Daytona Chamber of Commerce, a couple things. Wanted to let everybody know that there is an after hours this Thursday at Adams Cameron. And then next month, on Friday the 4th, it will be a morning mix and mingle, and I will not be able to attend that because I will be down in Miami attending a Florida League of Cities nominating committee meeting, which I got wrangled into. So if there's somebody available to go that Friday morning to the morning mix and mingle, I'd appreciate it. And then Wayne and I, our regular monthly meeting with the chamber won't happen until next Friday, so we'll be updating you on that. Roundtable of elected officials, we of course got a detailed update from Joe Pozo and Patricia Boswell on how vaccines are going, along with Bus Stop 101 from Bobby King and Calvin Miller. And it is amazing the county's perspective on how much it costs to add a bus stop. And they are looking for partners to add bus stop benches and bus stop shelters. So that's something that we'll probably be discussing at some point. Along with legislative updates, we talked a considerable amount about the number of pieces of legislation that attacked home rule this year that easily passed. So once again, our ability to decide what we want for our community is always under attack, and we will be ever so vigilant when it comes to those things. My perspective on that hasn't changed. I'm accountable directly to the voters of this community, and I don't need the state legislature to save me from the voters of this community. I'm elected to serve them, and I will continue to do that. So that's where I stand on home rule. Any other business come before us this evening? There being none, I will see you all next week for the workshop. Have a good night, everybody.